All right, that much we can do. Somebody give me the word back there. Stop it.
He's looking. He's looking.
The scramble is on.
The director is looking.
So are you teaching?
Stay close to where you are. I'm going to try to get him on.
Stay close to where I am.
Oh,
Okay, he says go ahead. Want to welcome again, welcome everyone out, and let's introduce ourselves. I'm KC4X. I almost said K2J. I did that all weekend, or all last week. And let's start over here with this young man.
John, K1PPE.
Jared, K4GW.
Kent, K4HKE.
Jim, KD4SJ.
Stevens, KD4JW.
Jerry, AK4D.
Henry, W4HHS. John, N400.
Yeah, they L4XC.
Jack, K4, ATOS. Chris, W20K.
Jim, W4.
Jim, N3LBJ.
Richard, W4IHC.
Rick, N4LB.
Doug. Dave, WA4MKK.
Jeff, KJ4MOD.
Yay! Yes, you are.
John, K4HB.
Mark, KM4TUK.
Jim, WA4NLT.
Sam, NI4TG.
Man, KC4WSK.
Steve, WA3RTC. Harold, N4HER. Judson, KG40HQ.
Ian, W4SDH. Casey, W1LLO.
Harlan, W1HRC.
Ken, K2KXK. W, B4QIZ, Doc.
Ron, KN4RKD.
We thought you were
Go ahead, Bob. You haven't forgotten.
W3, AVB, Bob.
Mary, KM4WPO.
Ron, W4UDB. AJ4FIN, Jim. Michael, K4OLD. Mike, W4NB.
Very good. Welcome to all. In case, you know, tonight we were...
You didn't go down this
Who'd I miss?
Over here.
Bruce, go ahead.
Steve, KN4LKP.
Welcome, Steve. And Bruce,
WB4QCM.
you're welcome too, sir. Now, Steve.
Steve, K2MLN.
All right.
Bill, N4WWS.
Okay, my bad, folks.
John, WS4NC.
That's Pedro. He's our video operator. Very good. Thanks much. Okay, I know everyone came tonight to see the gentleman, Brian Harrison, to talk about the Amelia Earhart. Unfortunately, Brian was not able to make it tonight, and we didn't find out till 10 minutes ago? Roughly 10 minutes ago. So we still have business to attend to. We can talk about field day. And anybody know who this lady is? All of us ought to know who this lady is. This is Tamitha Scove, and you'll find her on YouTube. And she does the solar, she studies solar. She's a solar doctor. And she talked, well, you'll hear what she said. I'll let you listen to that shortly, and we'll get to that. But first, would like to have some reports. And just for the record, you guys know we rarely even mention our secretary and the reading of the minutes. All of that's in the newsletter. Every bit of that's in the newsletter. And please, guys, let me encourage you to read the newsletter, read the minutes, and find out what's going on, sort of under the radar, things that are happening. And so that's pretty much the reason we don't do much as far as Jim Register is concerned. If he needs to talk, he will, and just ask him. Anyway, Kent is with us tonight, and he did not bring any hardware with him that's visible.
He went to work today.
You went to work today. Had I known that, I would have stopped in to see you. Good deal. And do you have a treasurer's report for us, sir?
In rough numbers, because I paid some bills tonight, I just hadn't added them up yet, but roughly we're at about $4,600. That takes care of everything. All the expenses that came in tonight were field day related. that 4,600 subtracts those numbers off of there. The only thing outstanding to pay other than just regular bills, that bill came today also, is our tower bill for the repair of the tower. It was $750,
Yep.
so it came in exactly what we expected it to, so we were lucky on that extent. So that'll bring us down to roughly just under 4,000.
Very good, very good. Did you mention to Chris about the annual?
I did have not talked with him
Okay,
yet,
we'll catch up
but
on that.
just to let everybody know, we did key that repeater up with a handheld at the Ham Fest in Salisbury.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
So that was rock and roll.
In fact, Dale is here. Those of you, let's see, since the last meeting, I think we put W4NC back on the, no, we've had, it was done before the last meeting. Just before the last meeting. So that installation is working well. Jerry and I were at the Hamfest in Salisbury. He hit the repeater with an HT. So we know it's working well. 22 watts, correct?
28 out of the repeater, then we're only losing 6 out of the duplexers. Many thanks to Don for his outstanding
good
work
job.
and tuning those duplexers. That's the best they've ever been in 20 years, so thank you, Don.
There you go. If you have the repeater report, you want to go ahead with it?
Did you-
Repeaters and testing.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. We're not licensed to use this. And where's the blue line that
You
so
stay
the water
between the
doesn't?
chairs.
The water is. That's a good thing. So we'll trip over it. Yeah. Well, first the testing. We had. Say again, Jeff.
If the light's hitting you in your eyes, you know you're in view.
You're good.
Okay. The testing report. First, we had a rip-roaring population of 1. Let's see. Is Mark here? There he is. When I stand up, Mark will embarrass you. You upgraded to extra. So when you hear Mark in the extra bands, tell him congratulations. Of course, in CW, right? And the VEs that were here tonight, we outnumbered the testees, the examinees, I guess, by what, 6 to 1. So if you stand up, I guess. Well, Bob, you don't have to. Bob, Mary, John, myself, Henry. Who else did I miss? Rick over there. I didn't count, but I think it's 6. Again, those folks help keep this exam process going. So you have new hams. I guess over the past 10 years, we've had what, a little under 300. So hopefully they'll keep things going for the club and also ham radio in the area. Okay, I'll go ahead and move on to the repeaters. I don't know how much you said or didn't say. Okay. Try to bring everybody up to speed, but in a short way. Back in December, WXI, our hosts up on the mountain, Saratown Mountain, for those of you that aren't familiar with our wide coverage repeater, gave a phone call at home. It was Michelle Butt, and she said, we got to remove the repeater off the mountain. Not that we did anything wrong, but they're doing construction. They got to move the towers up there, put up additional towers, major work, and the main power lines are going underneath the building that we're in. So we moved it, David and a team of a lot of folks that were here. The tower, everything except the building we took, and moved it down to Jerry's fire tower. Thank you, Jerry. And we were able to keep it down there and use it for, well, up until, I guess, about 3 weeks ago. And also thanks to Jerry, he was able to coordinate an arrangement with another location on Sourtown Mountain, not quite as high, but they do have a 280-foot tower. So we ripped out the repeater, the controller, rebuilt that, and redid the firmware at home. So hopefully that's running better. We got the tower cabinet and everything up there probably about 3 weeks ago. The only thing we didn't have is an antenna. That's a commercial tower. We're not licensed or bonded as hams to climb it, so we had to pay somebody to climb it, professional climbers, and I guess Kent just got the bill. It's supposed to be $750 to $1,000. We lucked out. It was only $750. They're up there, I think, 5 hours when we're there, and it was a hot day. So the good news is the antenna works great. We put a link antenna up there also. That needs a little bit of work, but the main thing is the repeater works, and I think you've heard the reports on that. So 4.7's in good shape. Now the other 2 repeaters out on Baptist Hospital. Been kind of preoccupied trying to get this done and keep it under the covers so until it was public, so it wouldn't be problems wouldn't result. 6-4 still has a pager problem. So yes, you have to get probably within 4 miles of it to be able to hit it when the pager isn't spiking at S20/9 on the input. That's why you can't get in. The UHF system uses the same hard line going up to the antenna. We think that might be damaged, but it also has a new wall from when it was put in the upper penthouse, which is 20 feet high by 10 foot wide by 15 foot long. That'll probably never see the daylight again. So we're making provisions to put see if we get hard line from the lower penthouse or the upper penthouse up to the antenna, which will be a non-trivial task. David and I will look at that. We do have a new weatherhead that's been put in on the top of the roof of the upper penthouse. So we need to populate that, get that in place. If it turns out there's still a pager problem, we'll look at satellite or remote receiver problems or challenges, Freudian slip. So we put satellite receivers around the area, forget about Baptist Hospital, and feed it back to their transmitter at Baptist Hospital. It's at optimum height. So kind of in a nutshell, that's where we are with repeaters. The Echolink has been working on that. There's been some tests. Harlan may or may not have heard some of the folks coming in. I saw about 4 or 5 on the log, but that we should have Echolink up on 4.7 soon. When we do, and Harlan's decision, we'll put the Vagabond net back on there, depending on how everything else is working out. 6.4 Echolink, well, 6.4 is in that shape. We're going to have to work on that later. I think that rounds up most of it. Sorry it wasn't as short as I thought. Any questions? Again, we appreciate your patience as we're trying to keep these things going along with cars and lawnmowers breaking down at home. So, thank you, folks.
Thanks,
David.
I have to wait for the green light. We have our business meeting coming up next Monday night, and all of you are invited to the business meeting. That's at 66 Pizza. It's right next door to that nice new, what's the name of that sports place?
Academy Sports.
Yeah, you already know about it. So Academy Sports, so either before the meeting or after, if you want to shop, it's there. But we do meet, and we start about 7:30. Sometimes we start early if we've got a pretty crowded room, but you wouldn't miss much if you came in a little bit late, and everyone is welcome. Particularly tomorrow night, we haven't said a lot about it here, and maybe this is a good time because we've got a good number of you here tonight. We've been working on changing the bylaws because the bylaws were instituted back in the 90s, and they have not been upgraded in quite a while for the changing situation. So one of the things that we're looking at changing in the bylaws and adapting is the point in time where we select, and this is going to come up next Monday night, where we're going to select I guess you'd call it a chairman of the nomination committee. And this will be a person who's going to come out and into the population of the club and find out who can serve in my place and who can serve in Jeff's place, because we can't serve any longer. You know, our 2-year term is up, and we still have a lot of work to do before that's over with, but our term will be up. Now, one of the reasons that we're here and able to enjoy a program tonight, even though the guy didn't manage to make it, he thought it was tomorrow night. It just happens. You know, these things do happen. But nevertheless, the reason we have these programs, the reason we have Field Day, and many other things that we enjoy in ham radio is because in the past, guys stepped up. They were president, vice president, secretary, treasurers, and a lot of those guys are no longer not only with the club, they're not even on the earth. And their work remains right here tonight. And so we're going to ask you guys, we got to have a vice president, we have to have a president. President's probably an easier job than the vice president, because basically all you're doing is facilitating the meetings, try to gather people together to do things and that sort of thing. So please think about it when you're approached about it. Be positive. We need leadership, and if you haven't led, give it a try, because you know, there's really no way to do this wrong. They're really, oh yeah, you can mess things up. What do you say, Ken? Did you volunteer for something?
I'm the treasurer of our RC club.
Okay, RC man.
I know what it's like.
And this guy flies RC jets, so I'm going to let him get a pass on that. But nevertheless, think about that, guys, because it's very important for our future. And with further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Harlan for a minute, and has he got a?
Yeah,
and let him give us the report on Aries.
We're good.
Okay.
All right. Hope everybody was on. Those that missed the net Thursday night. Aries is still part of our program, but as of July 1st, we became an Oxcom group. What is Oxcom? Real quick and dirty. That is the DHS in the state of North Carolina's designation for all auxiliary communications that occur during disasters and other emergencies. So we have transitioned over to the Oxcom group, and that's where we are with the state of North Carolina. Several of you are already registered in the system as Oxcom members, and those that still have the invite out that have not yet registered, please do. To be Oxcom, fully Oxcom qualified and be in the database, you have to have your ICS courses, 100, 200, 700, and 800. Then we get you in a database. Now, all that means is that you're in the database, and you go there one time. I'm the one that manages it after that. But it also means you are the ones that are EOC command post qualified. You are the folks that we can put downtown. You're the folks I can put into Forsyth County Sheriff's Department mobile command post. If you do not have those certificates and you're not in that database, I can't put you there. But I can put you at a Red Cross shelter. I can put you other locations. So you're still usable. Every amateur is usable. Nobody's not. So please, take the courses, get me the certificate so I can get you initiated into it or started into it, and then we'll get you to upload them and put your information in the system. Another thing that's going to happen is these are going to change. The green, orange IDs that we have will ultimately change. We're working on right now as a state working group. The group is working on a new ID, and it will be an ID that will be accepted in the EOCs, both state, local, for you to get in, and they will be picture IDs. So there'll be more on that as we get through that process, but that's where we're going. If you need an Aries ID and you don't have one of these currently, please, I think Kent, you're still doing them. Let Kent know, and Kent will ask me and I'll verify yes, give him one. Usually it's, yeah, give him one because he's an amateur operator. Make sure you get one. That's still usable locally. Okay. Next thing, Tour de Tanglewood, 22nd, 23rd September. Time's approaching fast. I need 15 SAG operators. We've reached out to a couple other groups. Surrey County, they've put it out to their folks. I've got a couple already from there that have indicated their willingness to do that. I also need 20 radio operators. So we have a whole group of people we need. We've got 11 rest stops. We've got 4 to 5 shadows. And then we've got the people at the command post that are needed for communications. So we need a whole lot of folks for this. Forsyth County Emergency Management is working with us on this now. And we're talking about actually turning this into a drill for us, so that we have an interface with them, we have an interface with the county, we have an interface with the jurisdictions we're going to be operating in. For Tour de Tanglewood this year, both days, we're going to be operating in 4 different jurisdictions and interfacing with 4 different jurisdictions, law enforcement and EMS. So it's going to be really unique for us First time we're doing it. So please, let's make a great showing this year and jump in. There's information on the website that shows you where to go to sign up. If you go to the w4nc.com, go to the Aries webpage. Actually, I think they've got it on the front page too. But there's a thing, sign up Genie. You go in there and sign up for what you want. If you're going to be a SAG, sign up as a SAG. If you want to be a radio operator, rest stop, sign up as a radio operator. Don't sign up as both. If you're going to operate as a team, i.e., you're going to have your spouse ride with you and act as a navigator, don't put her in either one of those, unless she's an amateur radio operator, but make a note, because you can put a comment in. Put a comment that says he or she's going to ride with you. Don't put them in as a separate person, because when it reaches my limit, that's it. So if, for example, I'm going to pick on Stacy and Doug here. If Stacy says, I'm going to be a SAG, and Doug says, I'm going to ride with her, but they both sign up as SAGs, that takes 2 SAG slots. So at the end of the day, when I get my 15 and I look and I go, okay, I've got 15, the reality is I've got 14 because they're riding together. So they block it out as soon as I get to the number I need. So that's what we need to do for Tour de Tanglewood. November, right now tentative date I think is November 10th. I believe that's a Saturday if I'm not mistaken. Will be a Ecom net controller course right here in this room all day on Saturday. We'll start at 9 o'clock in the morning till we're going to run till about 4. But we will take a lunch break, I promise. But we're going to walk you through a whole lot of scenarios, and it's going to be very quick. It's going to be intense, and you're going to have things you've got to perform. We're going to teach you in the morning what you got to do, the documentation you've got to do, all the stuff that's necessary, and then in the afternoon, you're going to be split up into teams, and you're going to be 3 of you per team, and you're going to have to do it. And we'll actually give you real-life scenarios that you're going to have to handle. You got to fill out the forms. We're going to give you problems, and we're going to walk through those scenarios as teams. So it's going to be kind of fun. It'll be a little different. Okay, that's it for Oxcom.
Alan?
Yes.
Any prerequisites that you come for?
You got an amateur radio license?
Yeah.
You met the prerequisite.
All right. Well, that's
You're
what
good to
I
go.
wanted to know. I didn't know if you needed any of the people things.
Nope.
No.
If you got a radio if you got an amateur license, please jump right in.
What's the dates for Tanglewood?
22nd, 23rd, I believe those are the dates. It's the last weekend there of September. And I keep getting them back and forth between the 22nd, 23rd, or 23rd, 24th. I got to look, but they're right there. Okay, any other questions? Oh, by the way, Oxcom's back on 470 on Thursday nights at 8:30. You know, we're trying to keep it to 30 minutes. If we need to, we can extend it. I don't want to go earlier because we interfere with another net on another frequency of people that want to join us at 8:30. So 8:30 is it. We'll try not to go much beyond that. But we want to start covering more and more. You miss training if you miss the net. That's where all the training's occurring right now. The other option is more classroom time. So it's either way we want to go. All right, that's it. Do what? Do what? To who?
Nothing.
Don,
Yes, sir.
I was live.
Okay.
No, wait, no big thing.
Edit it out.
Anybody not get to sign in? Okay. That's all right. Good deal. Thank you. And thank you, Harlan. Important work. What was the other thing I was thinking of? Well, for lack of anything else for the moment, let's take a look at Ms. Scove and see what she has to say.
I will start this forecast by reminding you how important it is to pay attention to space weather. This happened a month ago yesterday, and it's a woman and her 2 occurred just before 9, right when they said that she had her problem. Now, this minor flare in of itself may not have been enough, but when you couple that with the fact that sunset was at 8:30, about 20 minutes before her GPS failed, and that the terminator between day and night is so unstable anyway to these signals and propagating signals down to us on the ground, then you actually have a smoking gun for this being space weather related. We'll begin this forecast with this little bit from Brown Williams.
Missed becoming part of a huge story. Scientists say a massive solar flare 2 weeks ago just narrowly missed hitting the Earth. If it had, it would have caused an EMP. That's an electromagnetic pulse big enough to have knocked out power grids and communications, including cell phones. One expert in Washington said it's like Russian roulette and warned an incoming weapon could do the same thing.
As much as I'd like to blame Brian Williams for this, he's not the source. The source is actually a panel that was held by Ardent Strategies that talked about the EMP threat to the national grid. Now, the information in this video was very interesting, and I encourage you to check it out. But the report of the Carrington-sized solar event is incorrect. It did not happen 2 weeks ago. This story has managed to get all over the web because as I've gotten so many questions about it, I thought I'd put things into perspective and give you an idea of what the Carrington-sized event really is, and whether or not we've had any lately. I'll begin this report by talking about a cute little device called So's radiation monitor. Now, this thing sells for about $200 American, so it's become quite popular in the wake of the Fukushima disaster. And what it does is it measures the ambient beta and gamma radiation environment to let you know whether you're in a normal radiation background, or in the case of this uranium ore you see right here, high radiation background. But because this device is so portable, people are beginning to actually take this device up with them on airline flights. Now, that may not seem like a very big deal, but what it allows is now these devices can be used as instruments to measure the effects of space weather. And that's exactly what happened to Juan Sato, who took like Tokyo to Los Angeles recently, and found himself and his family caught in the beginning of a solar radiation storm. Now, obviously, he was surprised that radiation levels due to space weather were that high, because in the midway of flight, he made a comment comparing the levels that he's seen during his flight with those at Fukushima.
This is basically the amount of radiation you would get in an average flight from Tokyo to Los Angeles, breathing at 31 microsieverts an hour, which is pretty high. That's about how high it is at Fukushima right now. Every day, all day long.
On the beginning of this forecast, we gave a sobering statistic. Of the 7 billion people on this planet, over 6 billion of these people have access to cell phones, while only 4.5 billion have access to toilets. Now, by a statistical study done earlier this year by ITU, over 6.8 billion people have cell phone subscriptions, and in developed nations, cell phone subscriptions outnumber people by nearly a third. And what do we do with these cell phones? Absolutely everything. We access our social media and entertainment, we do our banking online, we look at news, sports, weather, travel, and listen to it every day. Now, the prediction is by 2016, the number of smartphones on the market is going to more than double, and the number of tablets that we will be circulating on will more than quadruple. So what does this mean for the global data traffic over the coming years? Well, it means it's growing exponentially. According to Cisco, there will be 10 billion cell phones in the marketplace by the year 2016. And that means smartphone traffic is going to increase by 50 times what it is today. Now, those statistics don't write you about this. If you add up all the amount of data that was transferred during 2011 for the entire year, that will be less than 1 month of data transferred in 2016. That's how fast all of this is growing. But how do we handle all that extra traffic? With more satellites. The more traffic we have, the more satellites we need. But the satellites and the precious cargo we carry, the information rides on their signals, our information, our precious photos, our digital identities. These are all susceptible to space weather. And that brings me to this forecast.
Right here. That's the one. This is the
We have one, maybe 2 solar storms that are on their way to Earth, and a new region that's rotating into Earth view has already said hello with flare. Those stories more in the news this week. Space weather this week really picks up. We've had a lot of activity near central disk. It started with an emerging region that fired a flare, and then that triggered 2 filament eruptions. You can see that the first filament eruption in this first strike zone, bam, right there, that's headed off to Earth, and then the second one, bam, right there. Now the second one may have only partially erupted, and if so, we've got a kind of a 1-2 punch. They're both headed off towards Earth, and we think the impact will be right around July 9th. But that's not the only story. We have a returning region coming from the sun's backside, and it's not even fully in view yet, and it's already fired off a C-class flare, which is brightening our day. So all of us amateur radio operators and emergency responders, we can look forward to some boosted solar flux that's going to enhance our radio propagation easily over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be watching this region very closely to see if it's going to grow into an M-flare flare. Switching to your M-flare threat meter, you can see since about the last week in June, that's when the X-ray flux started to die down. This is because region 2715 was rotating off the sun's west limb and on the backside. Now with that X-ray flux dropping, the solar flux also dropped. So since about 26, we've been dealing with really poor radio propagation on the amateur radio bands, and it's continued that way easily through the beginning of this month, and only since about the 5th, if we see that X-ray flux beginning to rise again, that's because of this new region that's not even in Earth view yet. You can see that big C-class flare that it popped right there. That actually is an eruptive flare, so this region may actually be a solar storm producer. That's one of the reasons why we're so excited about this region. As it rotates into view, we're going to be keeping our eyes on it. But the nice thing is that solar flux is rising right along the X-ray flux, so as amateur radio operators and emergency responders, we're going to be enjoying some decent propagation. We're going to be back into marginal conditions, and that should last possibly the next 2 weeks. Switching to your solar storm conditions, despite having a spotless sun for nearly the past 2 weeks, we've actually seen a bit of activity. Back on the 26th, we bumped up the storm levels for a short while, and some rural photographers got some decent shots before things began to settle down. Now, since then, we've seen unsettled conditions, quiet conditions kind of bumping around. But then on the 5th, we actually got hit again by a stealthy solar storm that popped us up to storm levels for a very short while before fading back down. And now, we're at unsettled conditions, but this isn't going to last because we have those 2 solar storms that are en route that should hit us on the 9th-ish, and that could easily bump us back up to active conditions, possibly even storm conditions. And although the solar storms, as of late, have not been all that long-lasting or all that strong, some dedicated aurora photographers have managed to capture some beautiful shots, like this in New Zealand, and even fighting the midnight sun in Canada, some people got some gorgeous shots in Manitoba and central Alberta. So what else does the sun have in store for us this week? Well, this is stereo A of our backside monitor. You can see here's Earth, here's the sun, and here's stereo A staring at the sun from behind. And what you can tell immediately is that the backside of the sun is a lot more active than the front side right now. That huge bright region in the middle of the sun, that's the region that's just about to rotate into Earth view. And it is, as you can see, it's changing a lot. It's firing off flares, which usually means it's pretty unstable. So we're going to be very interested in watching it as it rotates into Earth view to see whether or not it grows into an M flare. But even still, it is what's going to be boosting the solar flux for us for the next couple of weeks. And so us amateur radio operators and emergency responders enjoy some marginal radio propagation easily over the next 10 days, maybe 2 weeks. And then after that, you can see there's another bright region. That's going to be following the first one, and maybe even the third bright region. So it looks like we're going to have some decent solar flux easily over the next maybe 3 weeks. Switching to your solar storm conditions and aurora possibilities over the coming week, we are anticipating a hit from those 1-2 punch from those 2 Earth-directed solar storms, but remember these are expected to be pretty weak. So at higher latitude, NOAA is expecting active conditions with a decent chance of a minor storm. But at mid-latitude, we're only expecting unsettled to active conditions with a much smaller chance for a minor storm. And this should last from the 9th into the 10th, and then probably dying down easily by the 11th before things kind of go back down to quiet conditions once again. Switching to your solar flare and particle radiation storm outlook over the coming week, everything, of course, is still in green when it comes to solar flares, but we do have that new region that is rotating into Earth view off of the sun's east limb. The nice thing is that it's boosted the solar flux back up into the marginal levels for radio propagation. So as amateur radio operators, emergency responders, we should really enjoy this. Now the other nice thing is that we actually have a couple more regions that are going to be rotating into view shortly thereafter, so we can enjoy this propagation boost easily over the next 2, dare I say it, 3 weeks. It'd be fantastic. So the space weather this week is really exciting. We have 2 solar storms that are en route to Earth that could hit us around July 9th and 10th, and it could bring auroras down to high latitudes. So your aurora photographers, especially in the south, you can be in for some good viewing. Now your aurora photographers in the north, you're dealing with the midnight sun right now, so that may make aurora viewing a bit tough for you. Now on top of that, we have a returning region that's rotating into Earth view off the sun's east limb, and then they make you GPS users a bit nervous. But this region isn't really firing any strong flares, so you should, your GPS reception should be okay, but just remember around dawn dusk terminators, it could get a little bit glitchy. Now that same region is actually really good news for us amateur radio operators and emergency responders, as it's boosting the solar flux up into the marginal levels, and with the few other regions that are going to be rotating to Earth view right on its heels, this could boost the solar flux for us easily over the next 2 to 3 weeks possibly. So enjoy. I'm Helmut Go. Thank you for watching.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, she is a ham. She got her license the last couple of months. She's also featured on a ham program called Ham Nation. That's the one that had Bob Heil on it, and I think that's where I first ran across her. But
Wednesday night, if you want to do that, it's on sweat.tv.
yeah, it's all broadcast. Kind of fun to listen to it, but it can get a little tedious at times. But I think me standing up here can get a little tedious as well. What does all of this mean for the next 3 weeks? That means that you guys that don't have an amplifier, you're going to be in the driver's seat. Because 6 meters, 10 meters, 100 watts, all you ever need. 12 meters, 15 meters, of course 20 meters, they're going to be smoking. So go out there and have yourself some fun. With that, I don't have a report on the field day activity. I can tell you that everybody on this front row, I think, was at field day. Absolutely everybody. Not that next row, but I believe the row, except for Judson. Judson wasn't there. But a lot of guys were here from field day, and we had a good field day. The contacts, we had, I don't know how many contacts. We're still pulling all that together. And tonight, Daryl is not here. So we don't have all those numbers together, but we had a good time. It didn't rain, and it was safe. Nobody got hurt. Harlan, nobody got hurt.
Nope, nobody got hurt. We had one person got a little scratch, but that was no big deal.
Okay, I didn't realize that, but in any case,
it was a little scratch.
Oh, okay.
It was a little scratch. It was made a big deal of. No, I shouldn't say that. But it was a little scratch.
Well, and he wasn't spending all of his time lounging in his back line.
Oh, did he fall out of his chair? That was it. Okay, you were going to say something?
I do have one other little thing
okay.
I forgot to mention.
Okay, mention it.
Let me jump up real quick.
We'll come up here and we'll be friends for a minute.
One thing I did fail to mention, our sister club over in Kernersville, at the Baptist Church, I can't remember the name of it.
Kernersville Triad Baptist Church.
Triad Baptist Church. Scott Swain and I went and met with the city manager of the town of Kernersville. And we talked to him about amateur radio and about emergency operations. I sent them specs for antenna and the coax that's needed. And the indication was when we left the meeting that they are going to put that into their general fund request and basically put an antenna system up for us so we can operate out of their communication center as necessary. We're in the process of approaching, we've been working with Louisville on a similar setup, and we are approaching Kernersville to do the same. The idea being, again, as we talked about with the Oxcom, I can take the folks that are in that system and in that database that have completed the training, and I can put you at those locations. That gives them direct communications to the main EOC by a secondary means, and in some cases, the only means where they would have direct communications, because if they lose their telephone system, one neat thing about all these municipalities, they all went and got rid of their analog phone systems, and they all went VoIP. So every time the cable goes out, what happens to their phone system?
Hello. Hello.
Done. They've realized it. This is where we come in when that happens. Incoming. So when that happens, we're there. That's why we need the training. That's why what we're doing for them. And I meant to mention that earlier.
Yeah, I guess we're about to that part. I don't have anything else. Anybody have anything? Yes, sir, Doc.
Get a report on how many took part in the 13 colonies.
Good idea. How many did take part in the 13 colonies? Well, that's a good group. Very nice.
How many got all 13?
Yes, how many got all 13? Almost everybody. Very good.
40 meters, including 20 special stations.
That was good. The British station, I never did hear last year.
I didn't hear him.
You didn't hear him either. And the other one was William Penn.
I got him.
There in Philadelphia. And somebody mentioned there was another Gettysburg special event. Yep.
I got him too.
That's good. Well, that I did over, I think, 505 contacts. Sideband and Fox Tango 8. And I solved a problem with my radio, or really with my computer. I won't bore you with that. Visit, enjoy yourselves. Good to see Kent out, but also good to see Jeff out. Jeff's been kind of under the weather as well, but getting better now. So, anybody have anything else? Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a motion.
Please make a motion for us.
I'd like to make a motion that we get a label maker for poor Don back there so we can label those wires.
Well, the labels are back there. Marker and write it on there. I brought them special for that purpose, so they're back there. Thank you, Stacy. Let me also mention that Jim Register will not be able to serve as secretary next year, and so Stacy MacArthur has agreed to serve if she gets voted in November. And I think that'll probably happen. She's a very nice young lady. She and Ian both, they were at field day, worked very hard. It was a lot of fun.
Somewhere there's a picture of Ian actually working.
We know it happens. All right, does anybody have another kind of motion?
I'll make a motion.
So moved.
Yes.
So we go home.
Well, you can go ahead right there at the door. And a second. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Next month, Amelia Earhart.
For sure. Okay.